The Bengals are a different story. Have you ever heard of a rookie basically say, this team is interested in winning arguments more than games, and then he leaves camp? Like that
and looks
actually
like
happened.
and looks like the adult, right? Like, I mean, he is 21 years old. Like, there's a lot you can do at 21 years old. Like, he kind of looks like an adult to me. And the thing is, the Bengals, fairly or unfairly, have a reputation with this, and they're going through it with a guy that's produced a lot for them. You could say, hey, well, this guy hasn't produced at all. Like, prove it. I mean, the guys that have done the most for you, you're not paying. And I think Bates left a couple years ago because of money, and they just have a big kind of reputation for being cheap. And I totally get it. Like, there's a lot that we don't know. Like, I'm not willing to comment with a ton of specificity on what's going on in the contract because I haven't seen the contract. And now there's reports saying, hey, the guys that sandwich him in the draft also had this language in their contract. And I'm not sure exactly what the language says. So, be my guest if anybody
Right.
on the show has seen the contract.
Nope.
But to
Yeah.
me, what's interesting is the Bengals' position of need is it's hamstrung right now because of these contract disputes. And it's just kind of like it's almost no surprise if you've watched the Bengals deal with players over the years. And like the dates that are relevant, August 5th, of course, then you can't trade him anymore. November 11th, once we hit that point, he can't play anymore this year. And we're talking about Shemar Stewart. Um, you know, I, I think for him, there's no good option. The best option is probably to hope that they cave at some point. And I think there's reason to believe that they do eventually cave. But I think if he sits out a year and he just says, hey, I'm not going to play football, from what I understand, then he can re-enter the draft. And at that point, anybody with the Bengals can pick him. And that might sound really good, but I don't know that he gets picked in the same spot. I mean, this isn't a guy with a ton of college production, right? You're making kind of a speculative move on him. And then if in that situation, like there is the chance that the NFL as a group says, well, screw this guy. Like he's bucking the system, even if the system's screwed up.
Hmm.
So you worry about that, and then you worry about like overall this year, like from what I understood, the draft wasn't made up a bunch of blue chip players, which means next year I would venture to guess that he's probably not going to be slotted in the same place. So you got to look at for him, am I going to make as much money? What does a year of rust do? What does a year of rust present like if he plays in another league like the CFL or something?
Damn, you're going deep with the leverage, man. But I guess you have to I guess you got to game it all out, right?
You
I
got
mean,
to
if you're
game it
going
out because there's just no there's I don't think there's a good answer right now
right.
for either side, ironically. Like for the Bengals, to me, I would remove this BS language. Like I understand some other teams are doing it, but if hypothetically the language states that a player gets suspended for an on-field thing like leading with the crown of his helmet or landing with all his weight on the quarterback, oh my God, clutch your pearls, 2025 NFL, and this guy gets suspended that he's going to lose his guaranteed money because of that, I think that is BS. And if it's something that other teams are doing, I think it's something that should be handled. I'm not a contract guy, but that doesn't sit right with me. So, I understand that if you do something terrible, like hit your significant other or drive drunk and cause injury to somebody else, or, we all know the things that like collectively we'd be okay with people losing their guaranteed money over. I would not be okay with a player losing their guaranteed money over something on the field that resulted from that player playing their ass off. So if that's the case, I think these teams are messed up to do that, and there has to be some recourse because this is only once one player does it, and I think the league and college players are going to be watching closely to see what Shemar Stewart does. It could set different precedents, and so I think this is a big deal.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.